G'day prospectors, Tony from Gold Talk Leonora out on site on a fantasmastical morning. We start nice and early in summer. We're usually up and about by 3. We get out on site and get going while it's cool. It's not too bad today, low 40s Celsius that is, but it's enough to motivate you to get out of bed a little bit early and see how we go. We've got 2 sites going at this time of year. We just keep going over Christmas, New Year's. We sort of don't stop in summer, just keep going. This one's a scraper detect, so Goosebumps, the dozer, little D6. That's where he comes into play here. He's pushing out runs. Lisa will be up here in the next half hour or so and working nice and hard. By that stage I'll be off to the next work site, which is dry blowing, and got a little bit of setting up work to do, and we'll be away. So it is an absolutely cracking morning. The sun is sort of picking any dawn. The sun will be up in the next half hour or so, and it's the best time to be out and about here at this time of the year. I thought I'd go for a bit of a God bloody hell. That gave you a shock. Hope no one vomited. But I thought I'd have a quick chat about some detectors. I figure it's I've sort of been working out over the next sort of couple of months what I can do to try and help people out a bit. And what I want to do is have a good chat about research again. Summer's the best time for research, and I just want to do some live examples on Tengraph on the computer of places where I'd be happy to go exploring. So that's coming up hopefully soon. I've just got to slip things in, and with gold pushing $7,000 an ounce, I'm sorry, but that's the bloody priority. Crikey. But one of the things I thought I'd talk about before we even get into the research side is, because there's always sort of new people coming into this game, and which is fantastic. It's exactly what we all want. New blood breeds new life. But you know, so we always start getting the I guess the same questions every year, you know, to us about metal detectors and what you should be looking at buying, and what works up here in the goldfields of WA. Again, these are only my opinions based on a lot of experience, so you know, they are what they are, and there's nothing in it for me. I'm not trying to promote anything or sell anything. It's you know, it makes no difference to me. So the thing is that there's never a black and white answer to anything, let alone what sort of metal detector people should buy. The thing that I'd say is that if you can, you know, if you've got a little bit of experience under your belt, if you can, try and work out what kind of detecting you want to do. And by that I mean work out whether you you want to go and explore new ground, so you want to patch hunt, or if you're happy crumbing out on old ground and, you know, producing a little bit of colour most days. Both of them are valid, and both of them have different detecting styles, different research parameters, blah blah blah, which I'll go into in the next couple of vids that are coming up. But the thing I'd say is that if you can sort of focus on one or the other, or even both, that's going to dictate what sort of equipment I think that would serve you well up here. And what I mean by that is, if you're interested in patch hunting, so looking for fresh runs of gold, which is, I think, the way to go. There's plenty of it out here. It's just all the dirt in between that makes it bloody hard. Then your priority is ground coverage. It's not about sensitivity. And even if you find like 0.1 of a gram, that's fantastic. Then it's really about machines that will handle hot rocks and mineralisation, ground noises, etc. is a bigger priority. And so for me, if I was solely patch hunting, I'd be happy with a 5000, a 4500 or a 5000. Bloody awesome machines. And people might turn their nose up and go, it's old technology. Well, yeah, and sometimes that's not a bad thing. If you have a look at the progression of metal detectors over the last 30 odd years, the technology itself hasn't really changed much. What has changed is the ability to pick up smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller targets. Very smart of Minelab and detector manufacturers, because they realise that the gold's not producing quick enough to make any difference. So if they can sort of build in more sensitivity to their detectors, then people are going to spend the money, go out and find a few little nuggets, and they're going to be happy. And again, I've got no problems with that. That's just about recognising what the market is and meeting it. Okay, but if I'm patch hunting, I want to be able to move at a reasonable pace without being slowed down every step with hot rocks and ground noises and iffy targets. So for me, as I said, an older machine like a 4.5 or a 5, absolutely perfect. If I'm on the other side of the coin, if I'm scrapping out on old patches, which I'm gonna say 90% of people do, then the two machines I'd be concentrating on would either be a 6000 or the new Gold Monster 2000. Now that may sound a little bit controversial, but again, they're just my opinions based on my experience. I haven't spent a lot of time with the Monster, but I have spent a lot of time with the VLFs, probably in the late 1970s with Mum and Dad. And anyone that was around then detecting hates VLF machines. They're horrible bloody things. But the fact that they've sort of hybridized a VLF and a pulse induction machine is quite fascinating. And I can assure you that the Gold Monster 2000 will find gold that other machines that are currently on the market are missing. Having said that, the 6000 is a wonderful all-rounder. I sort of feel that the SDC 2300 and even the 7000 have had their day. I don't think they're putting any more effort into the 7000. I mean, I'm not privy to what's going on, but I don't think it's the direction they're taking. They both work fine, but what I see up in the gold fields is what people are using and what they're finding gold with. My prediction is this year it'll be the 6000 and it'll be the Gold Monster. I think if people learn how to use that correctly, there'll be a lot of smalls found. The Gold Monster is gaining good depth as well, but the gold, like anything, has to be there. So I just thought I'd throw my hat into the ring that if I'm patch hunting, I'd go with an older detector and I'd be happy with that. And if I'm sniffing out small bits on an old worked out area, I'd be looking at the 6000, but particularly I'd give that Gold Monster a look as well. Having said all of that, when Lisa and I were doing a lot of patch hunting, you know, all day, every day, 365 days of the year, what we found is it was always a bit of a combination of both. Like our focus was patch hunting, finding new patches of gold. It had to be economic. And gold was a little bit less than it is today. Crikey, about a tenth. So we found the balance for us is we would spend sort of all day patch hunting, and then at the end of the day, you know, 4 o'clock or so, we'd stop by an old patch and try and crumb out a few specs just to just to keep the gold flowing, but also to keep the morale flowing as well. That was what worked for us, but you know, each to their own. What I would always say is that, and the problem is that, you know, a 6,000 is close enough to $10,000. It's a lot of money, and not everyone's got that kind of money. So I also say to people is that you use or you buy what you can afford and you make it work for you. And I think the key is getting a start and getting experience, getting your runs on the board, and I think that's more important than the detector that you're using. The detector's the easy part of the equation to change with money, but the experience is something that you can never buy. You have to earn that. And so getting up here and getting out and learning the ropes is the biggest part of the equation. People will always ask me, if I had $1 for every time I've been asked, you know, do I need to upgrade my detector? And my answer over the years has pretty much always been the same, and that is, if you think you need to change, then you do. If you're asking yourselves the question out loud, it means you've already been thinking about the questions, probably at 2 o'clock in the morning, when you're working how to justify it to the cheese and kisses. But the thing is that confidence in your equipment is paramount. And if you have any doubts in your mind that you're not swinging a good machine that will find gold, then that's exactly the outcome you're going to get. You're not going to find much. Okay. Metal detecting, prospecting is all about, some would say blind ignorance, but I would say it's about, you know, that is, dare I use the word, it's about positivity. It's about believing in yourself and believing in your equipment and believing in your ability to find gold. That's the biggest part that people don't talk about. So the thing is, you need to have a lot of confidence in your gear, and depending on your budget, is whatever you can afford, that's what you start with and that's what you use. If it's a $100 go find that's not going to find a bit of gold up here, well, it'll get you started. You'll learn how to pinpoint and retrieve targets like a boss, and then one day move on to something a little bit better. I hope that I've sort of approached that in a positive manner. I think that the Gold Monster, from what I'm seeing with it, is going to be very interesting this year. But it's not a machine for patch hunting. It's a machine for sniffing out little bits on worked out ground. That's the way I see it. And it's doing it really, really well. Me, I've got machinery to do it, so I don't have to worry about using it, which is great. Prospectors, you have yourself a good day. I've got work I've got to continue on with. Have another cup of coffee and away we go. A little bit of information, and as I said, the next video is going to be on research, where I just want to take you through my methods again about how we go about it, and some suggestions about how you can go about it to find the right place, because after all, that's also equally the most important thing. You've got to be on ground that's containing gold. If not, all you're doing is just a little bit of exercise, and that's sort of not getting you anywhere. Well, mind you, a bit of exercise wouldn't hurt me. Prospectors, you have a good morning. Cheerio.